Can photography save you from doom scrolling? Can it be a great source of entertainment? Yes, it can. Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's video. Today I just want to quickly touch into this topic because I think nowadays we need less negativity, less stress, less toxic, especially with everything that's going on around us in the world. And also because social media, especially doom scrolling, has been proven times and times again that it can cause more harm than good. Now, I personally believe that a great hobby can improve positivity, can create more fun, can increase the quality of our life, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. I have so many hobbies. I play music, I play guitar, I play video games, and I also do photography. And I think photography is one of the examples of a good hobby that can fit into this context, a great source of entertainment, a replacement for doom scrolling in social media. Anyway, this video is all about photography being a hobby because we want to talk about creating more positivity, reducing stress, having more fun. Although I know that for some people who have photography as their main job, they can still have fun, they can still enjoy their photography time, but it's going to be different because when you have photography as a job, as a profession, you have that obligation, you have that responsibility to your clients, you have to deliver in certain kinds of parameter. Whereas if you're doing photography as a hobby, you have no obligations, no responsibility, no stress, no pressure. You're just shooting for yourself. You just want to have fun. And that's where I think photography can really shine as a good source of entertainment. And that's what we want to talk in today's video. So in my personal opinion, there are two ways of using photography as a hobby to create a positive source of entertainment. First, you can do what I call a pre-planned shooting. You're planning to go into a certain location, bringing your camera because you know that in that location there might be a beautiful scenery or there are plenty of photography opportunities. You kind of already know what to expect, what to shoot, the kind of pictures that you will end up with. You go there bringing your camera, you snap some photos there, you get what you want, you get what you plan, you feel accomplished, and that's so fun. That's one way to do it. Second way is without planning at all, just bringing your camera and lens with you everywhere you go as an everyday carry item. And during your everyday mundane situation moments when you see a photography opportunity, you just take out your camera, snap some shots, and you get a nice photo. That's the second way of doing it. Currently, I'm more inclined with the first option, pre-planned shooting, making sure that I know where to go, what to capture, and be able to expect the kind of result that I will get so I can prepare my gear better. That's always been my preference. But nowadays, I really want to get back into everyday photography again. So option number two, no planning, just bringing my camera every day with me, and when an opportunity comes, I would be able to capture it with my camera and lens. I think that would be a great way for me to develop and to add some variety into my photography hobby. But everyone's different. Please let me know what is your preference down below in the comment section. So there are many benefits of having photography as a hobby, as a positive source of entertainment. First of all, it could be great for both your physical and also mental health. Physical, that's pretty simple. Sometimes when you're doing photography, when you visit a location, you have to walk first Maybe you have to do a little bit of a hike. That's physical health. Walking can increase physical health. Definitely, we already know that. But mental health, you're not glued into a screen all the time. You're still engaged with your reality, with your environment, with people around you. You're not mindlessly scrolling. You're trying to savor not only the photo opportunity, but also what's happening around you. That's good for your mental health too. Now, that is very different from scrolling on social media. With camera, you don't stare at the screen all the time. You only stare at the screen when you want to take photo, or maybe you just want to check what you already captured. That's it. Besides that, you're not scrolling on the screen of the camera, looking at videos, all that kind of stuff. No, with social media scrolling, it's different. You are glued to the screen of your phones. You're mindlessly scrolling, watching videos being fed to you. Videos that you don't choose yourself, but what the algorithm feeds to you. That's bad for your mental health. That makes you less engaged, and that can makes you a little bit brain numb. I'm not quite sure what the word here, but it makes you feel fatigued. And sometimes the content of the video isn't always positive. Maybe it's something that can create anxiety and toxicness, and that's not good at all. Also, physical health speaking, you're not moving when you are scrolling on your phone most of the time. Maybe a little bit of a walk, but you're just standing still or sitting down, or maybe on the couch, or maybe on the bed. That's not moving, and I don't think that's good for your physical health. Now, with photography, you have to engage in the process of capturing a photo, making sure you get a nice composition, and then you operate the camera, turn it on, adjust some settings, adjust the aperture, adjust the shutter speed, adjust the ISO, making sure everything looks perfect, and then focus, and then wait until the perfect moment, and then you capture the shot. Bam! You get the photo, you did all of those steps before, and you feel accomplished, especially when you get a nice photo. That's a positive way of having fun, in my opinion. Being engaged, being active in the process of doing something. Whereas again, with mindless doom scrolling, the word mindless comes into play right here. You're not doing anything actively. You're passively being fed with contents from algorithm, again, as I said before. And it's different kind of feeling, different kind of entertainment. One is an active process, makes you more engaged, makes you feel more accomplished, whereas the other one is passive. You're not engaging actively, and it makes you don't feel anything really. Also, with photography, especially if you're doing the second way that I mentioned before, no plan, just ETC, bring your camera everywhere and try to find beauty in mundane life situations. You are actively looking for a slice of beauty in your everyday life, and that makes you appreciate your everyday moments even more, appreciate beauty in hidden places, and that can improve your gratitude. Whereas with mindless scrolling, you don't have any of that. There's no act of finding beauty in a slice of everyday life, that kind of stuff. No, it's not happening. It's just things being fed into your screen, and you don't even know which one is good, which one is bad. You're just mindlessly watching them, scrolling them, and if you find something interesting, maybe in less than 5 minutes you already forget about it. Also, the right gear can make you have more fun. If you have the right camera and the right lens to capture the perfect photo, that can make you feel more satisfaction and enjoyment. No, I'm not trying to create gear acquisition syndrome right here. I'm not asking you guys to buy more cameras or lenses. Use what you already have. But you know what I'm talking about. The perfect combination of a camera and lens to capture a certain kind of photo is just sublime, you know. It's motivating. The tactility is so inspiring, makes you feel enjoy, makes you feel immersed, and gear can help to make you have more fun. Whereas with mindless scrolling, just using your phone, upgrading your phones, yeah, you can get a little bit of a better screen, you can get better audio, that kind of stuff, but you never feel immersed because the videos maybe are just 1 minute long each, and you know, that kind of immersion don't really mean a lot in 1 minute videos being fed into your screen all the time. Now, there are some points that I want to share that hopefully can improve the fun factor of doing photography as a hobby in the context of this video. First point is to capture only the essentials. Don't capture everything. So again, I want to go back into the point that I made in the beginning of the video. We're treating photography as a hobby, not as a profession. We want no obligation, we want no stress, no pressure. We don't want the perfect photo, we just want a good enough photo to make you feel more enjoyment. And to do that, we have to let go of our sense of perfectionism. We just have to embrace that good enough is good enough. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but basically don't stress yourself out with trying to nail everything correctly, and be open to possibilities of things not going to your plan. Try to photograph, you know, again, the hidden beauties in the scenery, the hidden beauties in our everyday life, because that way you'll start to get some things that you don't expect but turns out to be as good or even better than something that you already planned. That's why way number 2, EDC camera, is interesting for me, because that will force me to do more of that, you know, be less planned, be more embraced with the idea of just being spontaneous, seeing something, trying to find the beauty of it and be able to capture it. That's, I think, a way to have more fun with photography as a hobby. And if things don't go as planned, don't stress out too much. That's the point right here. Try to find different opportunities during that moment. Maybe you'll see something else, something different, not what you planned, but maybe it could be a banger photo for you. Next point, have the right gear with you for the right job. For everyday photography, from my experience, I think it is better for us to have smaller cameras and smaller lenses. We tend to bring it out more. When we bring it out more, we'll be ensured that we'll be able to capture photo with this camera instead of just using our phone. And I think that's the point that I've already repeated many times on my other videos. And from my experience, of course, you guys already know that I love micro four Thirds exactly for this purpose, especially the older micro four Thirds cameras and lenses, the classic ones. This GF9 right here, my GX85, this G100 right here with the smaller lenses. They always create a nice compact package for everyday photography and also for travel. Also, if you go to locations, pre-planned shooting session, that kind of stuff, because smaller is easier to handle. When it's easier to make a new habit, then you make sure that you will do it. And when you do the habit of doing photography, you'll practice more, you get better photo, etc, etc. Next point, have a healthy restriction. Use only one lens for a few weeks. Shoot only in JPEG, no editing. Shoot only black and white, no color, or maybe use a weird aspect ratio, or maybe use a camera that you're not really comfortable with for a few days, or maybe just create a theme that you have to stick. You have to include people on your photo every time you capture a shot or something like that. But the point is to create a challenge that is not too hard, still doable, but challenging enough to get your brain working. This challenge, this healthy restriction, I think is very important, and it is also crucial for us to make it balanced. Not too difficult, but also not too easy. Not too difficult, it's very obvious. If it's too difficult, then you will not be able to do it. You will just give up and not do the challenge at all. We don't want that. We want to create a habit, and we want to make sure that we can maintain it. And also not too easy, because if it's too easy, it's not challenging enough, what's the point? You'll just end up with doing what you already know, go back into your comfort zone, and that's not fun. Having a little bit of this challenge right here can really force your brain to produce creativity. We want that creativity because it can make photography more fun, especially when you're able to accomplish all of this challenge that you create for yourself. You'll feel a sense of enjoyment, satisfaction. That's what we want to get right here with our photography hobby. And that wraps up today's video about using photography as a positive hobby, as a great source of entertainment to replace mindless doom scrolling on social media. But enough about me. What about you? Now it's your turn to keep the conversation going. What are your tips to make photography as a hobby more fun, more engaging? Please share on the comment section down below. I always love to read your comment, even though I'm slow to respond to your comments. And also, I always love to learn from you. I don't want to stop learning, and it's always a pleasure for me to read your comments. But anyway, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you want to support my work even further, consider becoming a member of my Patreon. Check out my latest travel photography video course called Simplifying Travel Photography. Use the affiliate links down below or use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.